What is going on, YouTube? Hope you guys are all having a great day so far. Today we're here to talk about the Montreal Canadiens again, and yeah, I've received a lot of DMs. A lot of people tweeted at me talking about Marty St Louis, and how a lot of people have started doubting him and doubting his ability to rebuild his team as a head coach in the National Hockey League. Some people even started to say that the Canadiens should have went with a more experienced coach. Some people even say that Marty St. Louis should be fired. And I think you guys are going a bit too fast, but I get where you guys are coming from. It certainly is weird recently what's going on with Martin St. Louis and the team. Some pretty weird decisions are happening right now. We don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. And there's a lot of open doors for speculation on what's going on with Slavkovsky, what's going on with the veterans, what's going on with the management surrounding the team. And there's some drama right now. There's some drama with Martin St. Louis. A lot of people want him fired. A lot of people think that it was not the right decision. And I get it. Like, really, the fact that he's putting Kirby Dog back and forth at the center, at the wing, at the center, at the wing, at the center, at the wing, I think it's pretty weird. How he continues to put Josh Henderson on the first line again and again, even though we can all see it's not working at all. And he's kind of like killing the pace of Nick Suzuki by doing all that, because since he started to change the winger of Nick Suzuki for Doc Henderson, Doc Henderson, Nick Suzuki has slowed down a lot. Is it because he's getting lost in with who he's playing with? I have no idea, but it's definitely not ideal to always change the wingers for a centerman like Nick Suzuki, who kind of needs to have like decent like chemistry with his winger, because if he doesn't, like, with all the passes he makes, it's just not gonna work. So yeah, definitely some weird stuff going on, and the injury of Sean Monahan is not helping at all, because like you kind of have a hole now down the middle, because yes, Kirby Doc is 100% capable of doing the job at the center position on the second line, but the problem is when Doc is on the second line, you have nobody to put with Suzuki and Caulfield. Well, at least in the head of Martin St. Louis, because he only tried Josh Henderson, and I think that there's a guy in the team that could fit them actually pretty well, and it's a guy they drafted kind of for that purpose. And I guess Uri Slavkovsky. I think that he kind of needs to try Uri Slavkovsky at least a game with Suzuki and Caulfield at some point. And you put on the second line either Drouin with Doc, maybe even Drouin at the center position, because Drouin has been playing good as the center position. You put Anderson, Drouin, and Doc on the wing, Drouin at the center. It could work pretty well as well. So definitely there's a lot of things that he could try instead of just trying the same things over and over again that are not working. If it didn't work in the first two games you tried, it's not going to work in the fourth one or the fifth one. Like, Josh Anderson with Suzuki and Caulfield is just not working. So definitely maybe try Sofkovsky, and maybe you put Doc with Drouin and Anderson on the second line, with Drouin at the center and Doc on the wing. It could be an idea. It could be an idea, but just like stop playing like the musical chair with Kirby Dog, putting him on the center, wing, center, wing, center, wing, center. It's either center or either wing. Stop like fucking him up. They're doing a bit like they did with Galchenyuk. Center, wing, center, wing, center, wing. And at some point, he was just completely lost with what he had to do, and he became garbage. And we all know how it ended up. So definitely don't want Kirby Dog to become a new Galchenyuk, just getting flipped from center to wing all the time. It's also the fact that he's always benching Sofkovsky at the end of games. I don't get it either. I've talked about it multiple times. Every review recently, we just talk about the fact that Sofkovsky gets benched. He never plays in the third period. They said multiple times that they drafted him because of his ability to be a clutch player. They said that when you have Sofkovsky on your team, you want him on the ice at the end of games. And every time that they're in a close game and that They have the opportunity to give Slavkovsky some experience at the end of games. They just completely bench him. They don't use him anymore. And in the development season, in the rebuild, I really don't get that move personally. So yeah, a lot of people have questioned that about Marty St Louis, his ability to develop your Slavkovsky into a good player. Maybe he lacks the experience to develop a first overall pick. Um, the power play, I know it's Alex Burrows running the power play, but at some point, he needs to talk with St. Louis. They probably make the power play together. And if not, it's kind of weird because it's not working. They're dead last. And you see some guys like Dvorak, you see some guys like Dodonov, you see some guys like Drouin over the guys like Doc Slavkovsky and all of that. See Weidman over Goalie on the first power play. And I don't get it because Goalie, I'd rather have him on the power play over Weidman anytime. And he's younger, and you need to develop him. So I don't get why Weidman is there. Slavkovsky's not on the power play anymore, even though he has more power play goals than half the players on the team. Kirby Dach is now on the second power play, even though he was one of the best passer on that power play. So I really don't get it. I get Dvorak wins faceoffs and he's kind of a threat down the middle. I have no problem with Dvorak being on the power play. My problem is that Kieran Goulet's not on the first one, even though there's nobody actually good playing at the point on the team. So why not try him? He's 100% going to do better than Chris Weidman. And yeah, Kirby Dach is 100% better than Drouin on the power play, and he showed it so far this year with all the assistance he had on power play goals. So definitely some weird stuff also going on with the power play. The fact that every time that Montembeault has a good game, he doesn't give him another game after. He always goes back with Allen. Like when a goalie's hot and when he's getting some good games, you kind of have to give him the start the game after. Like he deserves it, you give it to him. But every time Montembeault, he gets an amazing start and he gets benched for the next 6 games. So yes, Jake Allen is also a good goaltender, but when a guy deserves it, he deserves it. And I think that's an important thing for a coach to do, to give trust to a young goaltender like Samuel Montembeault. So definitely a lot of questionable stuff. Is Martin St Louis the best fit for this team? I don't think it's perfect. I think I would have rather seen now a more experienced coach. But I think he's doing a better job than Ducharme. He's doing a better job than Julien as well. So it's definitely not the worst it could be, but it's definitely not the best. Do I think that St. Louis is going to be the coach at the end of the rebuild for the Canadiens? Let's just say in 3 or 4 years, 5 year max, when the Canadiens are going to be a threat, a contender again. Do I see Martin St. Louis coaching the team to bring a Stanley Cup back in Montreal? No. I honestly do think that at some point at the end of the rebuild, Martin St. Louis is going to get fired because he does not have a defensive system at all. And to win a Stanley Cup, you kind of need to have one. So I think that at some point, Martin St. Louis will get fired, but I don't think it's going to be like in the next 2 or 3 years. I think that more long-term, in 5 or 6 years, we're going to see another coach come in Montreal and bring a Stanley Cup back. More a coach like in the type of John Cooper and all of those guys, Mike Sullivan, like a coach that is an offensive coach, but that also has a defensive system. Because right now the Canadiens have no defensive system at all. And in the last couple of games, with all the injuries, it's noticeable. Like the teams are doing what they want on the ice with the Canadiens. And if you want to win the Stanley Cup, you can't go into the playoffs like that. That's my personal opinion. So I don't think that St. Louis is going to be the long-term coach in Montreal, but I do think that he's going to be there for the rebuild. So yeah, let me know what you guys all think about this in the comments below. It's been your boy Tropical Habs. I'll see y'all later for another video. Have a nice rest of your day, and bye-bye.